Onexpunchxdad and Code Rome's.
Welcome back to the Hardpoint episode number 63. My name is Josh. I go by Onexpunchxdad online. Cody found a new Discord feature.
My name is Cody. I go by Big C Murd.
Big C Cricket. Yeah. A round of applause for my esteemed co-host here, Big C Murd.
We have a soundboard.
I think we've had a soundboard, but Cody found it, and now we're about to just abuse the hell out of it this week. So, not the duck. Get the duck out of here. It's like a kid in a candy store. Look at him. Hey, we're back after a week off last week, an unplanned week off. I know we didn't put a lot out there. Nothing crazy, nothing nefarious going on. I caught a stomach bug. I got sick. I've been sick several times this year. Me and Cody have been both getting sick. It's that time of year. Just want to say we're sorry for missing a week. Doesn't happen often around here. So if you're new with us, it's not a pattern. It's not a pattern. Nothing to read into there. But yeah, I will say briefly, we talked about this streaming the other day, but throwing up both ends violently, it was no fun. But it was the turnaround, the flash to bang was pretty good. So I'm back.
How are we feeling now? You look and sound great.
I feel great, man. I've had a great day. I'm going on a road trip tomorrow. Going on a little trip on a rocket ship tomorrow. So I'll be traveling a little bit this week and over the next several weeks. But yeah, I feel good. My strength came back in record speed, honestly.
Did you lose a bunch of weight?
No, because it was one day. So the one day that I was sick, I would say like peak sick day.
Yeah.
I did not eat a bite, and I threw up and pooped out everything that I had in my body. So
quite the decision to make when that's happening at the same time.
Yeah, literally, and it was absolutely the thing. So I got a big plate of Chinese food the night I got sick. I don't think I ever want to eat Chinese food again. Right now, honestly.
Oh.
It's I will, because come on. It's your boy. It's your boy we're talking about. I'm going to have Chinese food again. But I will say it had that effect of like the last thing you eat before you get that stomach flu, stomach bug. The thought of combo fried rice made me want to vomit, and it still kind of does.
I wonder how long the effect is going to last.
I feel I've returned to health, which is good.
Well, I mean, as far as like, when will you have that dish again? If I place the over-under at 30 days, will you have that dish?
If you handed me some right
days?
now, I'd probably just eat it. Just being real.
You don't have to.
I'm not gonna. I don't want, like. I need to know who's gonna eat it if I don't. Because if you tell me there's no plan for that fried rice, that it's gonna get thrown away if I don't eat it, I'll eat it. Nothing more sad to me than a wasted styrofoam plate of fried rice, man. It's just tragic.
That is very sad. Very sad. One of the top 3 saddest things I could think of, in fact. I got a little something for you. Tell me what you would do here. So for Valentine's Day, since we have a kid and she's kind of tough to put down at night, we did a day date. Right, she's her best like during the day, in the morning. So my sister came over on Saturday and watched her in the morning, in the middle of the day after Valentine's. So we didn't get out on Valentine's or anything, but the day after, middle of the day, we went and had our little date day at that point. And date day consisted of lunch at a hibachi. Okay.
All right.
So we walk into this hibachi at
love
12:05.
Yeah.
Love it too. It's so good.
Yeah.
12:05.
Okay.
They clearly just opened at 12. There is nobody in there.
Joint to yourself.
Yes. Do you, because we had a discussion over this, do you sit at the actual hibachi table 5 minutes after they open with nobody else in the restaurant? Or do you just get your own little private booth and kind of order the food?
I'm going to throw this out there, man. And there's probably someone somewhere who's going to hear this, who's going to correct it. But I will tell you this. Any person that if I take you to a hibachi restaurant and you ask to sit at the regular part of the restaurant and just order a plate of food, we're not the same people. If we go to the hibachi restaurant with the griddle in the middle and the dude in the tall hat, who's probably not Japanese, he's probably from Fresno, but he's really good at flipping shrimps into your mouth from across the table. If we go into a restaurant where that is a service on offer and you ask me to go, I just want to order a plate of food like normal, I'm going to leave you. You're going to be eating by yourself.
There's nothing weird about like,
if
there's nobody in there.
If there is a social norm being broken, Cody, I'm breaking it. I'm breaking that. I'm committing a taboo. I'm doing it, dude. If that is a service on offer in your establishment, that's what I want. That's where I want to be. Don't bring me something from the kitchen unless it's raw rice, a raw egg, some raw steak, and throw it on this little hot plate in front of me and toss it into my mouth when it's ready.
I'm sad to say that's not the conclusion we came to, unfortunately.
All right, well, this has been episode 63 of The Hardpoint. Just want to thank you guys for... What? Did you chicken out?
She goes, hibachi or table? And, Taylor looks at me like, we both kind of look around. There's nobody in there.
Who did you think you were going to piss off? And second question, who the fuck cares? It's hibachi.
I know.
Go get it.
As soon as we sat down, I looked at her. Here's the worst part of the whole thing. We decide table. We sit down. I immediately look at her and say, we should have went to the hibachi. This feels silly. And then I hear ding, ding, ding. And I turn around and there's another couple that walks in. For some reason, I'm getting the vibe they're doing something similar that we are, right? And the lady says, hibachi or table? And they go, hibachi.
They took your spot.
Yeah, well, and then I looked at her and I'm like, we could have made friends. Like, who else on Saturday at noon is at the hibachi table besides us and that fine couple? And we were subjected to our little private booth there.
If I'm not a bird, but my feathers are ruffled.
It was the wrong decision.
I'm so just flabbergasted. I don't want to say I'm disappointed because I know there was a lot more drive in this decision than just what you feel. I know you know in your heart what is right, young man. But listen to me. Listen to me. If I'm on a date and the lady goes, I want to go sit and I don't want people flinging food into my mouth. I don't want the whole hibachi experience. Okay. There's plenty of Chinese, Thai, Japanese places where you can go where that is not a service that they offer. Let me take you to one of these millions of places probably around any town in America. But if she says, let's go to that one hibachi spot, and by the end of the night, I'm not sitting at a hibachi table with my top button of my pants unbuttoned because I've just ingested so much freshly fried rice, freshly grilled steak, freshly volcanoed onions.
Yep.
That's a mission failed right there, homie.
Look, you don't have to be disappointed because I am. We clearly made the wrong choice. I regretted it instantly. And the entire time, I couldn't help but shake the feeling I failed.
Buddy, listen, consider me like a priest and you've come to me in confession. You know what you did.
I'm repenting.
You're repentant. Yeah, you're forgiven. Go literally at the next date night out, date day, whatever, at 12:05.
Yep.
Which is peak lunch hours. Go and sit at the hibachi table. Go dine like a king.
We're going to make up for this.
Dude, 1,000 years ago, they were eating bread with worms in it. They were eating raw corn out of the field. It's 2025. You can literally go eat hibachi in most towns in the United States. Go do it, dude. Go dine like King Solomon.
I think I pictured the cook kind of like, okay, just got to work, 5 minutes into the shift, and here come these motherfuckers.
You could have been his warm up pitch, dude. He could have been back there and be like, man, I got a lot of hibachi to serve today, but I just need a really nice, disarming Dallas couple to just get my digits loose.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I need to get out there, get some practice ting-tings in. You know what I mean? The ting, flip, ting, ting. Y'all could have been that for them. If he had done that and goofed it up in front of y'all would have been like, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Y'all could have been his warm-up game. But instead, y'all went and got General Tso chicken. What did you even get? Do you even remember?
I got hibachi chicken. Just ordered it from the booth.
Shit was probably made 3 hours ago. You don't know. That's the one time that soundboard actually came in handy so far.
And then my last thing for you.
Okay.
How do you feel? You know what? I already know the answer to this. Just like I should have known the answer to the last question. Where are you at on pedicures?
Okay. So the answer safe space. The answer that you predicted that I would say is that one I'm going to give it, which is nowhere. I haven't gotten a pedicure. However, I am not against it. I absolutely would go and get it. It's not something that I would have classically been comfortable with. Someone touching my feet, rubbing it, scraping it, filing it.
Yep. Going to town, giving your toes the business.
Yeah. Literally. Whatever. Yeah. Getting in the crevasse of each little piggy.
The hot stones.
But as I get older and I lay in bed at night and I look down at my little feet, you know what they do? They look right back up at me and they're like, we're tired, boss. We're tired. So I'm not against the pedi. Did you get a pedicure?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We did that. That was part one, and then we went and had dinner or lunch, whatever. But, dude, I'm telling you, the massage chairs, a little glass of wine.
Oh, okay. You went to a ritzy spot. Okay.
I mean, they're all like that around here. But, dude, it is baller. Now, I wouldn't go by myself. It's not something I'm walking up there solo doing.
Yeah.
But with your significant other, perhaps, it's great.
Okay.
It's awesome. You sit there next to each other, talk, hang out, get your feet rubbed down, and do the hot stones, the hot wax. They massage your legs, all kinds of stuff. It's nice.
Okay.
It's nice.
Yeah,
You're not a massage guy either, though, are you?
Another thing that classically I would have been like, no, don't touch me. But
I will kill you.
Just being real. I got a very sensitive personal bubble. I do. But as I get older, again, sometimes a little focused, you know what I'm saying? In that one spot that you can't reach, you know what I mean? Because I got to just curse with these pythons, you know what I mean? Just can't reach back there.
Man, maybe this weekend I'll treat you.
I don't know.
Couple patties together.
I don't know if I want to be seen walking in to get a petty with another fella and be like, hey, we're here for the petty.
First of all, we're not going to do that.
No, I've got the sexual confidence to just be like, let's just touch my feet. I don't care. All right. So all in all, except for the whole fumbling the bag at the hibachi restaurant.
Yeah.
Good little Valentine's Day for you. Yeah.
It was great.
Good.
It was great.
Good. I'm glad, man. I'm glad.
Thank you.
Good spot to transition to my favorite my favorite segment. It's the best segment. They keep saying it. It's called
What Are You Crushing?
Ladies and gentlemen, what are you crushing? Where we talk about the media, right? The information, the input, the data, the wavelengths, the rays, the sound waves. What are you taking in? What is making your frontal lobe vibrate these days? I am gonna start because I think mine is kind of a curveball, and I know you said you had good questions teed up, so I'm just gonna go first to get mine out of the way.
Sure.
actually not long after we recorded our previous episode with Warhamster. Great episode. Thanks for the turnout on that one, by the way, team. Yeah. And for anyone who's come from Team Warhamster and is here with us this week, welcome back to the show. We hope you'll stay. Anyway, the fall of Diddy on Max. I don't know if that's something that was even on your radar. I'm not a Diddy fan or a Puff Daddy fan from back in the day, but hard to deny like the prevalence of this in pop culture right now. Are you familiar with the fall of Diddy or the said documentary on Max?
Yeah, familiar with both. I haven't watched either. I'm not following it closely, but very familiar with, watching from a distance.
Sure. So I'll kind of come at this because Cody knows I'm kind of the documentary kind of probably the guy, the doc guy. Not that Cody hasn't been known to sniff one out from time to time, but I definitely enjoy them. From a documentary production standpoint, it's fine. It's a good documentary. There's a lot of good footage in there. They do one thing I did notice, and I didn't notice until it was over. They do a very good job of not putting a lot of his music into the documentary, which I say they did a good job. There's a reason I'm saying that, and we'll get to that here in a second. But yeah, there's not a ton of like, unless it is specifically serving like, hey, at this time he made this song and he was doing these specific things to these specific people. They might play a clip of Every Breath You Take or whatever. So not a ton of actual Diddy music in the documentary, but from a documentary production standpoint, it's very well made. Some very, very heartfelt people who were really close to Diddy throughout the course of his career through the 90s and the 2000s and stuff when a lot of this stuff was going on. So that's well done. So overall, if you're just a generic documentary enjoyer, it's a good doc. Excuse me, got the burpees. Sean Combs is a piece of shit. Sean Combs is certifiably, and this is not like just my take. This is not a whatever, Diddy do it, whatever. Right. On camera, on audio, certified. He did these things. He is one of the worst people in entertainment media to date. He is certifiably a terrible person. And there are a lot of people who I would say probably don't watch this because there's a lot of things that he did and a lot of behaviors he exhibited that are... he's a monster.
Yeah. I think there's a lot I probably don't know. I know he's not a good person, but I don't... I could not list you all the things that are, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can imagine, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's bad. And the thing that kind of like puts the icing on the cake, I guess, is a lot of the people that are being interviewed are people who served on his staff. Diddy always had this he was always kind of known for this huge entourage. So a lot of the people that are being interviewed are people who walked in those giant groups, security guards, cooks.
Right.
I
saw stuff firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely. Drivers. One of the guys they interview is a driver who literally helped him run from the cops at one point after a shooting at a club. And he was like, yeah, this dude is not a good person. He's a snake in the grass. So, great documentary. That was probably my favorite thing that I did watch over the last couple of weeks. Last thing I'll throw up a little alley-oop from downtown. I did start Invincible season 3. I know we're good doing these. It's here. It's here, man. Okay. Invincible's fucking good, man. It's just one of the best. I love animated shows. I love, we love The Boys. We love the gruesome superhero takes.
Yep.
It did not miss a beat, dude. It's so damn good. I love Invincible. I love where it's headed. I think they are partially through the first half of the season. They're kind of doing a piecemeal kind of thing. So it's not all out there yet, but what is out there is just, it's more of the good stuff. So
does it scratch the boys itch a little bit?
It kind of does in a different way. It's obviously
Yeah.
like what makes The Boys great is like all the different characters. And The Boys, I feel like, is interesting in the way that you're seeing it a little bit more from the non-superpowered or the less power holding individuals, right? Like the most powerful people in that show are the bad guys. In Invincible, everyone who's the focus is kind of a superhero, right? And they're all kind of a contender, I guess.
Sure.
It's the power dynamics are different, but it is scratching that itch. In that genre, it's different than The Boys, but it's also good like The Boys is good, if that makes sense. So
It does.
yeah.
I don't know how much I started it. I don't remember how far I got. I remember liking it for whatever reason. It was just I didn't stick with it, but my dad recommended it too, so maybe I need to put it back on my watch list.
It's a good, and I'll tell you, like from it's in the exact same column as The Boys, but maybe a different subcolumn, right? Like it's different because the characters are different and the dynamics are different and their origins and the causes for their powers are different and stuff. So it's good in that way. Another animated thing. One last thing I will throw out. An animated thing that I did watch recently that I also really liked was Creature Commandos, and I didn't talk about that on here, but that is also on Max. That's the one with like a GI robot, the robot who wants to kill the Nazis and all that stuff. It's actually like in the new DC canon, right? The James Gunn's new DC canon. So all of these characters actually like carry forward into the new DC universe. It's also very good, very brutal, and very good. Really short. That one's a really
What is it called?
Creature Commandos. Almost the exact same animation style as Invincible, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But really enjoyed that one as well. So really good time for animation, honestly. If you're an adult and you're like, I want to watch cartoons, but I don't want to watch Coco Melon, there's a lot of good things to choose from. So, but anyway, question's complete. I'm gonna kick it to you. Whack. There you go.
That stuff sounds good. I'm gonna circle back to Invincible. I think you've not that I needed convincing, but it sounds like
football's over, bud.
That would be up my alley.
Football's over. Take a Sunday afternoon where you would normally be watching touchdowns and go watch Invincible. Excuse me, not Invisible.
All right, I'm gonna hit 2 quick hitters. Won't take much time, and then actually got a couple documentaries that I'd love to bounce off you. First one, Severance.
Okay, where are we at on the thumb scale? We're up.
We're here.
We're up, baby.
We're here.
We're up. We're 2 up.
This last episode was tied for the best or the second best episode this season. It's great. And I saw that there are 10 total episodes for this new season. We just watched number 5. So I feel like we're really hitting our stride. We got some room to run. We're not down to like the last 2 episodes and there's a ton that's unsolved.
Sure.
But
do you know
we've picked up.
Do you know the final episode count for the season is 8, 10?
10.
It is 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a solid 50.
Yeah.
50% of the way.
Halfway through.
Okay.
Halfway through. Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. We got room to run.
It's weird.
We're hitting our stride.
I ask because that matters, right? Like 8 and 10 episodes to tell the story is
very different.
It gets a vote.
Yes. Normally, I'm an 8 guy. 8. I'm actually a big fan of limited series, like American Primeval, like a 6-episode banger.
Sure.
Huge fan of that. 10 can be good. It can also feel very long.
It can, and I want to say, speaking of The Boys, I think they normally run 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
especially if they're hour-long episodes. I mean, that is
just 10 hours
right
of stuff. It's like I don't remember the last time I had 10 spare. 10 left over. No. I think the limited series, if it's an anthology, like hey, this is one season of characters that aren't going to come back next season. It's kind of an enclosed or mini series. I think 6 is normally good. 8 to 10 if we're I want to get more juice from these characters that I've built for 3 or 4 seasons. Then So,
right.
Anyway, distraction. Severance. 5th episode. Yes.
It's great. If you're not on board, go ahead and get on board. Second one, this is completely random, and this is probably for not very many people out there, but I very randomly, not super random, there's a reason why, have been back into Protest the Hero lately, and I'll tell you why. Their latest album, Palimpsest, or however you say it, they released the instrumental version, which that band is one of few bands that the instrumental is almost just as good and just as fun to listen to as the album proper.
I did not know that this happened at all. And I'm
Yes.
so glad you told me because I love Palimpsest. And there's things that you miss. Let me just say, not that Cody's done nothing wrong here, but the vocalist for Protest the Hero is a talent.
God.
There's a note that he hits on the first song in that album that is just disrespectfully beautiful. But there's things that you miss in the virtuosity of the guitar parts and the musicality of that with the vocals there. So I'm very interested in listening to this.
Dude, I would say as talented as he is, every other piece of that band is equally talented at their craft.
Oh, they're all bringing
which is why this is so fascinating to listen to. The drums, crazy. Bass, crazy. Guitars, maybe the craziest of them all. I mean, it is a joy to listen to. I love it. And so once I wore that out, I naturally started kind of going back and listening to Volition is probably my favorite album they've ever released.
Volition is the one with the vulture on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Did you know Jim Adler played drums on that?
Please help me understand who Jim Adler is.
The Lamb of God drummer.
No. I did not know that.
He, in the studio, tracked all the drums for that album.
Really? Like his sticks hitting the heads.
Him. Every drum track you hear on that album is Jim Adler.
Damn. So that Jim Adler.
Which is crazy because I know he's a good drummer, but boy, there's some stuff in early Protest that is just like, how the fuck?
Well, and he's also the drummer for one of the biggest bands in the genre. I mean, he's no, I don't want to say he's not Lars. Thank God he's not Lars. He's a better drummer than Lars. But he is kind of in that, like, he's in the court. He may not be sitting in the throne, but he's in the court of kings. You know what I mean?
I thought I learned this too, not to go down a huge rabbit hole on them, but they crowdfunded that entire album, which I thought was interesting. They raised the money to pay for that entire album.
That's kind of neat.
Kind of crazy stuff on this band. Dude, I don't know. They're fascinating to me. They're one of these bands that I will come back by every couple years or so and get really into them. And I'm really into them right now. They're really, really, really good. And they seem to have just kind of stopped growing. I find it weird that, like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they've continued to, like, evolve or grow. They're kind of the same size they've been for, like, ever, it feels like.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know. If you had told me 4 years ago when Palimpsest came out, because it has been out since 5. Oh, my God, almost 5 years old that album is, because it came out smack in the middle of COVID.
Yep.
If there was an album that was going to carry, and maybe that's why it didn't carry them to just, like, bring me the horizon level of craziness. And maybe they don't want that. Maybe they don't want, a dear friend of mine from our hometown said once when they came through our hometown, this is after I left, but he was like, yeah, they came through town. And then the singer sat at the bar and had a beer with me. And I asked him questions about the album and all that stuff. And he was very open kimono about all that stuff. Maybe they want to stay that way. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. I love that they, apparently have that approachability to them. But no.
By all accounts, Rhodey Walker is a very, very cool dude.
Very cool dude.
Just a real
got a family now. He's got like a dad and stuff. Like lives a very like unassuming, I don't know, unassuming, but just very simple life off the road. It seems like, but yeah, Protest the Hero, for anyone who doesn't know, is just even. I'm gonna throw it up there as a band. Like, even if you don't like the all that stuff that like you normally like, I don't like the this band is so fun and good that it's a good inroad to heavier music because their melodies and their kind of just, I don't know, their whimsicalness is so accessible in a weird way.
I mean, it's mesmerizing, man. I mean, some of the guitar, there's so much going on, and older stuff. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm amped that they did an instrumental, because another band that we love is Within the Ruins, and they typically will later on they will release a instrumental version of all their songs. I wish more bands did that. Even the bands that aren't doing, I enjoy that.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that. Within the Ruins is the other band that's right there that's just as entertaining to listen to. And actually, within the last few days, went back and listened to one of their instrumentals just because I was like, I've been listening to the Protest one for a few days or a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
So I went back and listened to it. It's awesome in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
I say Protest. It sounds like, I don't know how to say this correctly. Like it is actually somebody sitting down playing what you are hearing. Like it is not super processed. It's produced very well. It sounds crisp. It sounds amazing. But somebody's playing it. There's a little bit of character and soul in the guitars of Protest. I love Within the Ruins, but it is so precise and perfect and almost like a computer played it.
It is. There's especially a lot of their leads, because they'll do those leads that are like, you can tell they went into the stem, right? The sound file, and clipped out everything that wasn't the note.
Yes.
So instead of getting you get you get these very almost like a chiptune 8-bit Nintendo sound to it. We have had this conversation about, if you put Within the Ruins with just a guitar amp and drums and a bass in a room,
right?
What do they really sound like?
Right.
What do they really sound like? You know what I mean?
I feel like Protest on the other side, like these guys actually, you can hear it.
Yes.
It is somebody sitting there playing this.
Yeah.
And
there's a rawness that you can hear the rawness to it.
I love that. And even their old stuff, Blood Meat, Sequoia Throne.
Yeah.
Heretics and Killers.
Goddess Bound, baby.
Goddess Bound. Heretics and Killers is the first song that you ever showed me of them, and you showed me the video because they're dressed as monkeys.
Yeah, they're the monkeys from doggone Wizard of Oz.
Yep. It's all good. I could go on and on. Enjoy the instrumental. It is fantastic. And if you haven't, go listen to Protest the Hero. They are absolutely worth your time. All right, documentary time. You actually brought it up on the stream Saturday night when we played, but I've been watching Surviving Black Hawk Down.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh,
Talk to me, Goose.
There's only 3 episodes. I'm through 2, so I was going to finish the other one tonight, so I still have 1. It is nothing short of breathtaking, and not necessarily a good way. It's just unbelievable. Obviously some of these people survived because they're sitting there getting interviewed. But where I'm at currently, I don't see how any American soldier walks out of there alive. I mean, the situation is so dire and grim. So I don't know how anybody survives.
So this is something, and again, I remember being in basic training. This is 17 years ago, and we had these little soldier books to study the rules and all the customs and courtesies. But they had a couple of little pages in there devoted to understanding the Medal of Honor and Mike Durant, who's one of the pilots that ended up getting taken captive and survived and all that stuff.
Right.
He was featured in there. But they talked about Black Hawk Down and that event. So the legend and the lore of the Battle of Mogadishu, even in 2008 when I joined the Army specifically, because these are Army dudes in there,
right?
They were still well proliferated. They were still definitely, at that time it was very realistic that you could have a senior NCO or an officer who was at Mogadishu.
Right.
I had a first.
Wow.
I had a first sergeant. My first sergeant in the Army was a veteran of Mogadishu. Like,
Wow.
yeah. Was he, cutting corners in Bakar Market? Maybe not, but he was in the country in Somalia when that happened. So it was a big deal. The documentary does something that the movie. You've seen the movie, yeah? You've seen Black Hawk Down?
I haven't. I'm gonna watch it as soon as I finish this.
I'm gonna give a hard recommend because it's a great war movie. In a alternate universe where this never happened and that's a completely made up story, it's still a damn good war movie.
Right.
It's better because it happened. It's
right.
Cool because when you look at the faces in that movie, you realize, almost every young dude in this movie, Tom Hardy's in that movie. He's just a kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there's so many just like young nobodies in that movie who go on to be like Legolas in the Lord of the Rings and shit.
Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah. Anyway, not important. Anyway, the thing that the documentary does that the movie does not is give you a glimpse of how dire that situation that you're talking about was. Bakara Market was the heart of. To say enemy territory makes it sound like there's a line, and once you go across that line, you're in the danger zone. This was the enemy territory was a cell, like it was literally like, and Bakara Market was almost the nucleus.
Yes,
like if there was
the center of the hornet's nest.
Yes, if there was a concentrated zone for that danger, it was where they were supposed to go, and they get there and immediately get lost.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the crews that got roped down from the chopper, I don't know if they lost their bearings or whatever, but they said they landed and kind of immediately realized we're not at the intersection we're supposed to be at.
Yeah.
We're about 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
We're immediately getting shot at. I mean,
yeah. And I don't say they got lost like a jab or like, they just didn't do enough land nav. They got lost because it is an area where they probably don't have the best like visual intelligence of like, hey, this corner is a 7-Eleven, and this corner is a church or whatever. They don't know. They were legitimate. It's probably all just like brown shitty buildings.
Yeah.
And when the Blackhawks come in, they kick up a mad brownout, like a huge dust storm. So they're literally landing blind. Not knowing which way is. I will say this: there's nothing. We grew up in a place, Amarillo, Texas, which is one of the flattest places in America. Yep. I always knew where north, south, east, and west were, and that is. I'm realizing how rare that is to know, even just like north is that way, south is that way.
Right.
Because in an area where you don't know which way is north, south, east, or west, and you kind of need to know, that's very scary.
Yeah. I mean, imagine being dropped in a city you've never been at with dust going everywhere and you're getting shot at and you're supposed to find a specific building roughly 2 blocks away and you have no idea what direction's what. I mean, it feels like such an impossible task.
Yeah. All you.
The thing that struck me was just how young those guys looked, and that guy even talked about when they're interviewing him later about how they felt invincible and all this stuff, and they're showing pictures of them as they're deployed at that time. And I just cannot believe how young they look. Because when you think about these elite soldiers overseas on these capture or kill missions or these, whatever, like these crazy behind enemy line missions that they're sent on, I think of guys that look like the guy that's sitting there being interviewed present day.
Yeah.
Like those are the types of guys that are going in and doing it. Not a kid that looks like he graduated high school 6 months ago.
I will say that is like my biggest beef with like military movies, like military in Hollywood, is not necessarily like, they get stuff with the uniform wrong. They get this, it's easy to nitpick that stuff. My biggest pet peeve is always, it'll be a private, but he looks my age. I'm 36. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can, you're a civilian. So the fact that you pick up on it speaks volumes. These guys were kids. I mean, some of these guys literally turned in these corners in Mogadishu, not old enough to buy a beer.
Right.
is insane.
That's crazy to me. I can't imagine. I don't know. I can't imagine it. That it just seemed like the worst. Uh-oh. Are we good?
Yeah.
Just seemed like the worst, scariest situation imaginable.
Yeah.
The most hopeless, not a shred of light at the end of the tunnel here. Like, we are all fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of time before, we're dead. Like,
and I'll tell you this too. Like, if I'm very low likelihood that I'll find myself in a situation where I'm out doing anything remotely similar to what they were doing. I work in a cubicle now for frame of reference, but I will say, if anyone ever tees up a mission with "we'll be home by dinner," I'm immediately like, you shouldn't have said that.
night vision.
You shouldn't have said that. Yeah, I'm bringing extra bullets just because of you. That is, and they did that. They in their mind, it was a very. I don't know if they did that out of like denial or if they really in their mind thought this was just kind of a routine, like go get the guy type of thing. But
dude, they said like we thought we didn't think twice about this. Like, it's a bunch of people with shitty fucking AKs. Like, we're invincible. We're the best unit in the world. This is going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
I just literally like whatever. They were all playing at the one that really got me is the guy that, boy, he was the one that he was playing in the band. He kind of had the longer hair, the glasses.
Oh, yeah. I know the guy you're talking about. I don't know his name. Ben.
And he was saying that he saw his friend, he was in the Humvee in front of him on the turret, and he got shot. He saw him get killed. And he was like, that was my best friend. And then he finds out that his other friend got shot. And he's like, that morning, me and those two were out on the beach just hanging out.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be an off day, and he's like, here we are a few hours later and they're gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just
the documentary starts out and it looks like that scene in Top Gun. Like they're literally like hanging with the boys style, like playing volleyball in their silkies, you know what I mean? And by the end of that day, 19 of them dead.
He was part of the fort. He made it all the way back to base, and they said we have to go back in. He was in there and survived it. Gets back, and they're like, you got to go back in and go get them. And he's just like, you just saw your best friend get killed. Yeah. You both just barely survived, and now I have to go back in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man. The bravery. It's not lost on me how. Just what a hell of a situation that is.
It is. And there's, I think it's easy to take a zoomed out look and, look at, kind of the potentially nefarious nature of U.S. operations on a global scale. And be like, well, we shouldn't have been there. We shouldn't have been doing this. We shouldn't have been doing this. There's an altruism in the fact that the IUD guy was absolutely taking the UN aid and using and starving people,
right?
And causing pain and causing famine and causing, starvation. And this was a thing where the U.S. Army, maybe in a valiant effort, thought, hey, we want to go get that guy or someone close to him, so that we because that's not good, obviously, because this was a peacekeeping mission. This is a peacekeeping effort, right? We're just there to be a referee, essentially. So the fact that this even happened is kind of crazy. It's a bad deal, man, and so many heroes, and I don't use that term lightly. So many heroes born that or were made that day, but also like you said, like heroes that probably would have rather just finish their day on the beach. Honestly, not a good day. The movie came out 25 years ago. It came out in 2000, I think. It holds up. It tells the story well. Probably does take some liberties. If that's important to you, check out this documentary to get the facts straight from the horse's mouth. There's dudes who were on the ground there, but in conjunction, they both. It's just how important it is to have an awareness of this thing that happened. That it wasn't a war. It wasn't a part of a war. You know, there was no like war in Somalia at the time. It was a peacekeeping effort that I think until Black Hawk Down came out 7 or 8 years later after the fact, no one really even knew or cared. So,
right.
Man, I'm glid you're enjoying that documentary. I just kind of threw it out as an afterthought. I didn't think you'd jump on it like that.
Well, I scrolled past it and it didn't grab me for some reason. And then when you mentioned it, I was like, you know what? Let me start this, see if it grabs me, and it did. I can't wait to watch this last episode. The last thing, it is kind of fascinating how they get Somalians in this documentary too and interview them.
They do.
It's not just from the American side. It's from their side.
And these are not like the Somalis who are just like in a window, like looking out and be like, yeah, they were really fighting it out. These are Somalis who were like, all the Americans came, so I grabbed my AK and went to fucking work. Like, these are enemy combatants being interviewed. And I think that's important. That's absolutely important. Understanding the dichotomy there of that conflict is getting their input. Yeah, I totally forgot that until you mentioned that, Cody.
Very crazy. Anyways, go watch it. It's fantastic. I'll save my other one. We can do it next week.
Okay. Fair enough. Good crushings this week. Hey, let's hit a couple righty do's before we sign off for the week. Let's do it.
Let's do it. What'd you say? Did I cut you off?
No.
We have some leftovers from War Hamster. We're not going to read those.
We'll get her on the next
one. 30. Yeah. I bet she'll be back. She seemed open to being back.
Yeah.
Cool Boy 3010. Chief C. Murd. Who are your go-to ASM artists? Favorite triggers. I don't know anybody specific. I think I said last week that I enjoy it. But I could not name anybody specific.
Whoever the top result is. Usually I don't ASMR anything weird. I don't ASMR anything that's like, I need to hear someone like unwrapping a Werther's next to a microphone with the gain turned all the way up. It's normally like I want to hear it's like rain or campfire is the one that I like sometimes. A simple sound, you know what I mean? And there are ASM artists, if that's what we're calling them, that do kind of specialize in kind of recreating those like atmosphere sounds. But no, I'm never like, I'm going to fall asleep to the sound of someone like drinking boba tea. That makes sense? Yeah.
It does make sense. I think I'm in agreement with you there.
Fan of the art, can't throw out an name 10 ASMRs. I'm a poser, I guess.
Yeah, well, I would say for the triggers too, I can't even name anything I like. It's more like I know it when I hear it type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what it is that I like, but I know it when I hear it, I guess.
Certainly. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Brevetos. Not pre-read. Somewhat lengthy. Here we go. Going to throw an alibi crushing for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Hey, here we go.
Imagine a mix of Red Dead Redemption 2's quiet and slower paced story where eating is just as crucial as earning coin, Oblivion's first-person view and interface, and a BioWare/Fallout-esque dialogue tree when talking to NPCs. It's old school, very systems-based, honestly a bit overwhelming at first, and swordplay has a bit of a learning curve. Still, it brings back the genuine sense of wonder and appreciation for how I felt ages ago booting up Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim for the first time.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm interested in this game.
I'm gonna say this because I did throw it out as one of my top 3 anticipated for the year. It absolutely still is. I'm not letting FOMO get a vote here. I just haven't had time to. That's not a game that I want to haphazardly walk into. I want to be I want to be wherever the fuck Cody was at whenever he started playing Stalker 2, where he was just like, I'm gonna seatbelt myself in for 3 months and conquer this thing. I absolutely do want to play the game. I don't know if I get the same. And this is kind of from a distance again because I haven't played it or tried it, but I don't know that I get the same kind of level of polish of Red Dead that I do from that. But it does seem like all I'm hearing is that it is a very big, a very dense, a very lived-in feeling world, which I've talked about is a very big thing that kind of sells me on a game. I want to play this game. I'm kind of just looking for the right moment. It's I'm not a video game journalist, so not playing a game on release is not going to kill me. But absolutely, it is on my list of, hey, when I get some downtime to play a story-driven game, to play some Kingdom Come 2. So absolutely a great recommend for my part.
It looks fun. I've heard it's a game that kind of throws you in and you have nothing, and it doesn't tell you how to get anything. It's just kind of a very like figure it out. I'd put it in a category of several other games that I want to play, but like you, I need to be at a different place in my life. I don't know where I found the time to do what I did with Stalker. I can't do that again anytime soon.
Yeah. And as things warm up outside, baseball's fixing to kick back on, like the likelihood that I am going to be like hunched over my Xbox for hours a day is getting lighter and lighter as the weather gets warmer. Yeah. So this is definitely one that's a contender for a story game, like maybe in the fall, like when the weather starts. I will say this. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about this, Cody, because we had a big weekend, didn't we? Cody and I, we've talked about we talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago with Warhamster. PUBG is back, ladies and gentlemen. PUBG is back.
It's so back.
It's so back, and it's still fun. And the player base, we found this out playing with my good buddy Nick Dow, goes by Lead Poison in our Discords here. It has the largest concurrent player base of almost any game. It is, people have been playing this game for years. So this is not we're not blowing some big story here. But PUBG's got people playing it. And it's fun, and it's getting updates. Killer lobby music. Killer lobby. You can't say enough nice things about the goddamn lobby music. You fire that thing up, and you'll be glad you did. PUBG has excellent lobby music. It is just, it's a ripper. It's absolutely.
I could work out to that song, dude.
I'm thinking I need to find it on Spotify, big time, because it is such a heater. Cody and I. Whether technically, I'm not even going to preface it.
We absolutely did. It counts.
We got a chicken. We got a chicken dinner this weekend.
Yep.
And we've had a couple Warzone victories. We had a couple dubs there. This felt so much bigger.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm hungry. I'm hungry for another one.
I am too. Dude. There's no asterisk. There's no nothing. We were a part of that team, and we had a bunch of kills between you and I. had 5. I think you had 4.
That's true.
3 something. I mean, we had 8 or 9 kills between the two of us.
Yeah.
I think Nick had the least amount of kills. He took us to the finish line, so he gets.
That's true.
We all get the same amount of credit here.
Yeah.
None of us could have done it without the other one. It was absolutely a team effort. And it's not like we died immediately. It was way towards the end.
It's true. We were on our ass for the final stretch, like literally trying to get across the red line, the goal line rather. But man, when you see those big fat yellow letters course across,
it took me a second,
and it says
process
winner chicken dinner. It's a good feeling, baby. It's a good feeling.
I'm loving this game. I'm so glad. Yeah, I had this picture in my mind. I put it up on a pedestal. It's been a while since we played, but I couldn't shake the feeling of what I was looking for lied in PUBG, because some of my favorite online moments were with you and I back in the day playing PUBG. And it's been years since we played, and I thought maybe it was one of these things that I amped up in my head and reality wasn't going to be as good.
There is no rose-colored glasses for me in that regard. Like this, absolutely, like There's a moment. It wasn't even a match that we won, but it was a match on the snowy map where we got under this kind of like culvert bridge, this kind of archway bridge, and we were. I mean, this is kind of the end game, right? We didn't even win this match, but we had this moment where we were just like, let's go there because we can control that point. We got pretty good visibility. We got 3 or 4 kills. We actually had a car run up, smash into Cody and Nick. I killed the 2 dudes who got out of the car, revived them, and then we kept on trucking to the next iteration of the circle. That doesn't happen in Warzone, and I'm so at this moment in my life, I'm kind of done with Call of Duty right now.
Yeah. No, this is giving me everything I ever wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good, and every round has at least one of those moments where it's like, dude, that 2, 3, 4 minute stretch there where tension was through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like that's what you play that game for.
Absolutely. We talked about this too. I got final thing about PUBG, I guess, because I know this wasn't really what we were talking about. But we talked about kind of the flash to bang. Like I talked to Cody early on about kind of one of my biggest beefs with this game was kind of the long. You get sent back to the lobby in that game. You're going to be waiting cool 5 minutes before you get truly back into the plane. You're dropping into a new point. You got time, right? Like it takes time to get back into a match. I don't know if that's just a server thing or whatever. With Warzone, I mentioned the other night, I was like, well, in that game, sometimes we just get wiped so fast that we just teleported back to the fucking lobby. And we play 5 or 6 rounds and just get diddled. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think we've had maybe one map where we land. There was one map we landed. It was the first one we played with Nick. We had a terrible, terrible start. And the game, we went 20 minutes. Yeah. Because people were getting revived and people were like people were getting out of there. They were staying alive. So every match you play is fun. There's no like, we landed, we died, we're back in the lobby. It has not happened to us once. And we're not good. We're not, not clinically, we're not good at the game. But every match we've played has been like, hell yeah, man, woof. We're always huffing and puffing when we come back to the lobby.
I love it, man. I love PUBG, and I love that we're loving it.
Yeah. All right, one more. Let's call it.
Let me just go ahead. Okay. Well, the only other one we have is also by Cool Boy. Hey, write us in more. We need more questions.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what this means. This is directed directly at you. Chief, would you have John Minelli on the pod?
Who's John Minelli?
I don't know. I thought you would know.
I don't know who that is.
That's a no, then.
Let me look it up.
I don't know who that is.
I got a little time. Hold on. John, spell it.
M-I-N E-L-L-I.
E-L-L-I. I don't know who that guy is.
Nobody's coming up.
Oh, he's a bald guy. Is that the joke? Is that he's bald? I don't know who that is.
There's no way that's the joke.
He looks like maybe a guy who does tactical gear reviews or something. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if he knows. I don't know if he knows or gives a shit who we are, but if he wants to come on the show, does he? Did he ask you to ask us that?
Do you know John?
Yeah. Not that I'm sure what he's doing is great. He probably has 1 million followers somewhere, and I just don't know about it. The market is saturated, people. I'm sorry. He's probably, I don't know, whatever. He's probably like huge, and we just don't know. Yeah, it seems fine. He's got a great haircut. Hey, we want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast this week.
Episode number 63. There we go.
There we go. Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate your forgiveness for missing an episode last week. Again, like we said, I felt like Dookie. I'm going to be on the road this week. We'll be back next week, though. Hey, we're picking up speed. We're picking up steam. Trying to get some more clips out there. So if you see us out in the wild, If we do a clip, you see a funny joke, a little funny clip from the show, share it with your friends. Share it with someone you care about. All right, if this is a podcast you want to be able to connect with people in your life with a little more, hit that share button. Get it out there for the algo. People will comment that on my YouTube videos. They'll say, "Hey, Chief, commenting for the algo," which I'm assuming means algorithm, but.
Right, we'll take some of that.
Yeah, we'll take some of that, man. That's we appreciate that. We're still small operation here. You know what I mean? Small operation. So any little bit helps. But no, you guys help us out a lot. Cody said it. Write in. All right. Go to our Discord. Yep. There's a link in the description for this episode. Go down there. Hop in questions for podcasts. Whatever's on your brain. Whatever's on your brain. If you're here from the War Hamster Camp, please hang out with us. We'd love to keep you there. Yes, thank you for coming over. She was a delight to have on the show. I think we'll be having her back at some point or another. Looking to have more guests as well. That was a great success for us and for her as well. So,
Elon Musk is next.
Yeah, Elon or bust, I guess. But hey, huge thanks to you guys. We will see you next week without fail, unless someone gets another shitty stomach bug. Baja blessings on your little heads. We love you. Hit him. Full send. Hit him with everything you got, Cody. Get fisted. My fists are hungry. See you next week.